Hey friends, it's your girl Leah coming to you live from my not so fancy Winter is Coming recording studio. And today we are with the first ever edition of a new segment called Not Your CEO's Corner. It's where we talk to folks who are building powerful things without playing the old corporate game. Our first guest is Manu, the founder of a social media platform called Dkla, built from the ground up to tackle misinformation and social media addiction. That's right, someone finally said, what if social media was honest and then actually started coding it? Welcome to Dkla. And
Yeah.
before we start, please introduce yourself and talk a little about Infotik, please.
So my name is Manu, and we started Infotik as a bunch of university students around a year ago. So I just moved to the University of Nottingham here in the UK. And that's when I realized that a lot of people here were addicted to social media. And especially if you go at parties and house parties, you always see groups of people just scrolling on their phones, not really socializing, not really talking to people. And even I used to scroll a lot on social media, but obviously there was a lot of information and stuff on there too, especially about video editing and stuff like that, which I used to do professionally. So I was learning a lot about social media trends and stuff, but it was also a lot of content that just wastes your time with brain rot and and all the AI stuff that's been popping up recently. So it's just low quality videos that get a lot of views. So we realized if all of these good content actually exists on social media, why not just create a kind of filter or a new social media platform that basically only allows a certain kind of video on the platform. So you get the best videos that exist. Because clearly a lot of videos like this exist from great creators, but they're just really stuck and they get pushed down from all these AI and brain rot videos that takes a minute or two to make, but gets a lot of people hooked because really catchy music and really flashy sounds. Obviously, it's a dopamine centers and makes you want to watch it. So obviously, Infotik is less addictive, but the idea is to give users a curated kind of videos. So, and all these videos are also fact checked. That's what we try to make sure that there's no lies or anything being spread around. So that's basically the idea of Infotik. We just wanted a way so people can use social media effectively without getting addicted to social media.
It's a great idea. And as you know, Dkla is all about human creativity. I always tell people it's not all about art. And it's great to have someone think about this social media addiction. Indeed, I use public transport all the time. And sometimes it's annoying to see only screens. You don't want to see someone else's screen, but we can't avoid, right?
I'd also like to say, especially my parents and everything growing up, they used to say, get off the phone, don't use social media. But it's hard when you're growing up with social media and you're just used to that hit of dopamine. Even if you're in the toilet taking a shit, you just need something to do while you're sitting there. So I feel like people are always going to want to have something in their hands to scroll down. But I'd rather, if you're going to be scrolling anyways, why not do it on Infotik so you can actually learn something and not just waste your time? Because in most of these videos that you see on TikTok and Instagram Reels, do you actually remember any of the facts or anything that after 5 or 10 seconds after you watch that video? Most probably not. But on Infotik, at least, I hope that maybe one of these videos actually catches your eye and actually teaches you something, maybe a cool fact, maybe something interesting that just makes you more interesting as a person.
Oh, I agree with you. And where can our listeners find your app online? Is this app ready to use, or are you still building it?
We started building this over a year ago, and it's gone through a lot of changes. We've added a lot more functionality now. It used to only just have a TikTok-like feed, but now we have added messaging, and we've also added Twitter kind of feed, so you can post your thoughts to the world, and it doesn't have to be a video thing. You can just have text. So you can download Infotik on the App Store and the iOS Store and the Play Store. We've been out for almost 2 months now, officially. Our launch was just the 16th, but we've been out a month before that. but we've been growing really quickly. And I feel like mostly with the Gen Z, they really understand the issue with social media addiction. They know that, like most people, they know they're addicted, but they just don't have a way to get out of it. It's easy to say turn off your social media, don't use it, but the fact simply is that we use it for more than just scrolling. We use it for messaging, we use it to keep in touch with friends, we use it to have groups and communities. So it's hard to just cut off social media completely. So I'm just giving people an alternative, a way to use social media in a positive way.
Oh, this is awesome because I use another app to control my social media time, and it cuts all the access to the app after a certain time. But I'll try to give you a chance and look for the app on Play Store.
Actually, that was a really good point also that you made, that a lot of apps are coming out that just blocks Instagram or TikTok from being used. But the problem in that is that we use TikTok and Instagram as our main source of messaging between friends. So if something blocks something that doesn't allow me to message people, it becomes an issue. And I also feel like this is an issue with people, that you just open the app to reply to somebody because you just get a message, and then you just end up going to the video section, and then half an hour or an hour of your life is just gone scrolling away.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's sometimes I just want to post my material on Instagram and the app's blocked. So it's really hard to change the settings. So it's great to have an alternative. And let's talk. What inspires you to keep pushing forward in this work with the app? What drives you every day?
I feel more than anything, it's just the community. We have a Discord community that is growing almost every day. So there's almost 150 of us now, and we have almost 60 moderators, and they are way more active than me sometimes. So I feel the need to almost keep up with them. They every day when I wake up, they have a list of bugs, a list of issues, and list of ideas that I can implement. And these aren't people that we're paying. These are just like kids and maybe like 16 to 18-year-olds, random people
Okay.
just found the app, and they really are really interested in the app. So so every day if I open Discord, I get a whole list of ideas from them. And I feel like if I'm making a change to a lot of these people, I have the responsibility also to keep building the app and improving the app so that all of us can enjoy it as much as possible.
Oh, so I think the global community is really important, especially holding an international podcast. But it's also important to turn off the social media for a while and look for the people around you, at least to know where you are and who are the people near you. It's really important. So, and when did your journey in this career begin? I know you are a student, but when did this idea begin to work with app development? And what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself starting out?
So firstly, I'm not an app developer. I only do the front end and the design. I'm mostly a designer myself. It's my friend who is the technical side of it. But I think the journey really started when I got a job as a social media manager for an AI girlfriend company. So it's not really the best kind of product you want to be pushing, because you want people to get people addicted to talking to virtual AI things that doesn't really exist. So and because of that, I was using social media a lot to figure out what was trending audios, musics, to get that one viral video that will get thousands of views and thousands of people. But then I realized while researching these social media trends, I was getting addicted myself to the same kind of social media that I thought was the evil thing, right? So, but I also, then we started, I had a small idea. Why not create a new account on Instagram, completely fresh, and only follow creators that I like? Because there is a lot of good creators on there. Science, even BBC, TED Talks, everything exists on social media. But
Mhm.
and it worked for the first 10-20 minutes of the videos I was getting was the creators I followed. But after the first 10-20 minutes, I started getting cat videos, skateboarding videos, things that I like. And I couldn't stop watching it. And because of
Mhm.
that, my algorithm changed from having TED Talks and history videos to being more cat videos and skateboarding videos and daredevil videos and stuff like that. And it's not really what you want to get, right? If you were only following these kind of creators. So, but that's what the algorithm is. The algorithm just gives whatever gets the most
Yeah.
number of people to watch it. Doesn't really matter what kind of videos it gets.
Oh, it happens to me all the time. I can relate to. I love recipe videos, and sometimes I just want to post something, and then it pops out some cake recipes on my feed. And it's really eye catching, but sometimes it's distracting. I can't deny. All right, let's dive deeper about some influential figures. Who has had the most significant impact in your life?
What has had the most significant impact? I think definitely traveling and seeing the world,
Mhm.
because I am definitely not the kind of person to stay indoors, and that's why I hated the fact of that I got a job that required me to have my mobile on my phone, just be on my phone for 6 hours a day.
Mhm.
So I was the kind of person that I always want to be out meeting people, and I feel like a lot of people are missing out on experiences just because they watch people have the same kind of experiences on their phone. Especially influencer content has become such a big deal in social media, where you see everyone else having such a good time when you can also be having the same thing, but instead you watch other people do it, which I
Mhm.
really don't understand. But that's the culture right now, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, and it's really interesting because I always ask for 2 seasons. I asked this question to many of my guests, and many of them said family, and others say my significant other, and others say friends, pets, or colleagues. And in your case, traveling, the foreigners are a huge influence in your life. It's truly interesting to have someone outside the box.
I feel like I just make a lot of friends easily. So every time I travel to a new place, I get a lot more connections, even with people that I may not see after a couple months. But just having that one conversation and seeing how they live their life, which is so different from ours, it opens yourself to different experiences.
Oh, absolutely. And do you believe that the way you earn your money is more important than the amount you make?
I would definitely say so, but a lot of people do not see it the same way, because once you
Mhm.
start getting money, you stop thinking about who you are actually making suffer to get that money. Because comfort is comfort, and especially with capitalism and the society that we live in,
Mhm.
because money exists, you don't really see the harms that are caused because of how you get that money. Like, even if you're working in a petroleum company as an accountant,
Yeah.
you do have a small amount of harm that you're doing, but also what are you supposed to do? You
Mhm.
can't just leave your job. I mean, you're probably going to starve after that. So it's not a feasible thing, but I think that if you are in a state where you can have an option to work on something that has a positive impact on the world, you should definitely do
Mhm.
that. But
Mhm.
also, money is still important. You do need to survive. You do need to take care of yourself, your family, your friends. So
You're right. And now a bit different question. What's your unpopular opinion, unpopular belief about tech culture?
I feel like we need to go back a few years in terms of tech. I feel technology advancing is not the issue, but people are over relying on technology, especially with phones. We having literally everything with us at all points, being able to talk to anyone, being able to know where everyone is at any point. It just feels like so much information. Just think about one day you just leave your phone at home and you walk around, go outside without your phone. How much different that life would be. And imagine that in a whole city or a whole town where the only way you can meet somebody was to either pick up a telephone and call someone from a number you remember, or you meet someone on the street and be like, hey, nice to see you again. So I feel like maybe technology would be good if you went back 20, 30 years.
In fact, it happened to me not so long ago. Only 3 days ago, I forgot my phone at home. And when I was in the bus, I would just pick it to listen to my playlists on Spotify. And where is the phone? I couldn't come back home, but I wish I could.
That's also the problem, because I feel like now everything's turned into digital economy. Even
Yeah.
money is just turning in physical currency is also being replaced by cards and contactless travel. So we're losing touch of everything. Everything's just becoming digital a little bit.
Absolutely. And I would say once a guest said something really interesting, because we have around 10 years of difference. He is 10 years younger than me. And he wanted to get more self-centered instead of only relying on his phone. And then he decided to buy an iPod to listen to his favorite songs. And I was thinking, oh, that's how I use it to leave my house with my phone and the MP3 player and many other stuff.
Just hold that thought for a second. So this is a tiny camera where you can't it's instead of an MP3 player, it's a camera, but it's not connected to a screen. So think of the old digital cameras where you need to wait until you develop the photos. So it's pretty much the same idea, that you just record the videos or the photos and then you can't see them. Maybe it's blurry, maybe it's amazing, and then you go home and then you plug it in with everyone, all of your friends, and then you develop it, but you upload it onto your phone and then you see it. So it's still a new technology because it's digital and it's not all Polaroid, but it's a little bit backwards from having a phone and immediately being able to see what you're capturing and everything. It's that surprise factor.
And every time I hear people who are much younger than me, I'm from Y millennial generation, rely on the things I used to do when I was younger. Sometimes I feel glad because they can understand us, and sometimes a bit nostalgic.
I feel like even with design and everything, we're going back to the 1980s, 1990s now, because people are feeling that nostalgia for that time.
Oh, absolutely. And now, how do you stay human while building something this big? Because this app exists for 1 year and it's built for all kinds of people all around the world. We all use phones, and many of us are on TikTok and Instagram. How do you stay human and keep this sense of community, of connection? Is it easy for you?
So I think someone said a really good quote. Let's use social media like a grandparent and not like a Gen Zer. Think of how a grandparent would use Instagram or TikTok. They'd probably use it to chat with their friends, maybe spend 5-10 minutes and then keep it down and read a newspaper or something, because they'll be like, stop using these phones. So I feel like we also need to mentally try to force ourselves to use technology a little bit lesser, because it's always going to exist. We can't create regulations and we can't tell these tech companies to stop creating these, but we have control over ourselves, and we can control ourselves as to how much time we want to be spending into these.
And it's very interesting, especially because not only 1 week ago I published an episode with an 85-year-old man, and it was a life lesson. He was talking about how he rebuilt his life after his 70s, and it's really these were other times. He started writing with a typewriter, something even me, I never saw a typewriter working. I just saw in museums, for example, and writing books have this analogical experience. Now we text, we write, we text all the time, but this experience of creating something I think we are losing. We are just, like you said, relying on technology, letting the phone correct our grammar, spelling, and sending quickly the message because there is someone else anxious for a reply.
I like how you said that we aren't creating anymore because we're consuming more than we create. And that's the problem with even these videos, that you just spend hours consuming all this information, but are you actually getting anything out of it? And there's also the second side where these creators, these influencers and everything, they don't have the freedom to create whatever you want. You can't just draw anything, you can't create any kind of funny video because it's not going to get views. And the only ways to get money is to make views. So you're even these creators are kind of forced to do whatever the algorithm wants to. So the people who are consuming it are not the happiest. Even the people who are creating it aren't the happiest when it comes to social media.
Oh, definitely. And I remember when I started hosting my drawing and art videos on TikTok. I wasn't expecting to have more than 10 views, especially because it's art with recycled materials and it's very experimental. But people are understanding my idea. It's instead of showing the perfect thing, I'm trying to show something done with heart and imperfection. That's what I say.
There's definitely a positive to social media too, where it helps you connect with these people who have the same kind of thoughts about you. Because if you were to just put that into a museum, maybe you wouldn't be able to find these people from all over the world who would want be able to see it. So there's definitely a positive to social media, but we need to at least control it a little bit.
Right. So, and now let's talk about the morning routine and motivation. What's your morning routine like, and how does it set the tone for your day? How do you ensure you are always showing up for yourself?
So I think my morning routine is just opening up my Discord, because people on our Discord, they are all over the world. So when I open it up in the morning, I have almost 50 messages at least, not to me,
Oh,
but in our Discord channel, where they're discussing about they're talking about the features, any bugs that come up. Obviously, we have a bug reporting place and everything, but they just have, there's a lot of people who are just chatting about each other about the app. And I just like going through all of that, seeing where it started, what they talked about, how the entire conversation went through. And I get a lot of insights about it through that. Oh, we should have a t-shirt, we should make t-shirts, oh, we should do this, we should do that. And these are just people talking about each other, and they don't really know that I'm reading this. But then in the morning, when I don't have anything else to do, I just go through that, see what the community is talking about, what their ideas are, and do something about that.
oh, oh, it's really different. I recently created a Discord channel for Dkla, only the paid subscribers. And I want to do the same thing to open Discord right after waking up. But it has much less messages than you, I'm sure.
Discord even got so populated to the point where we had to set up moderators so that we can ban people who are just spamming messages and mute people and everything. Because without that, it was just getting to the point where anyone was just sending anything. So now we have almost 20 moderators who make sure that the Discord is taken care of. And it's all because, and they're doing all of this just because they like the app. We're not paying them. They're spending 1 or 2 hours of their day just making sure that Discord is